Hey everybody, it's Comic Book Hangover. It is Friday. It means it's time for Full Run Friday, Halloween edition, number 4 of 5. I guess we could, if we're going to do the whole comic book thing, might as well go full board. Today we're going to do Tomb of Dracula. I don't have the full run, and I don't think my humble Tomb of Dracula collection has a lot of the major keys in it. I know I don't have the first appearance of Blade, because I don't have that kind of money. But I have a reprint for it. So we're going to be going through Tomb of Dracula proper. I also pulled together some of my other Dracula appearances, Dracula-centric appearances. So his appearance in the recent X-Men 92 series, I'm not going to include that. I'm talking stuff that where Dracula was part of the title, reprints, special mini-series, mini-events, that sort of thing. That's what I'm going to talk about and show off today. But before we do that, I do want to show I have a couple of Tomb of Dracula reprint trades, including Doctor Strange versus Dracula, the Montesi formula. This one reprints Tomb of Dracula 44, Doctor Strange 14, 58 through 62. Also has mentions of the Darkhold in it. So this one is when the Montesi formula is when they were able to eradicate all vampires, and then the Darkhold got involved and vampires came back. But that's pretty fun. Also, I think I'm missing one. There's 4 volumes in this set, and I'm missing the last one. But I have the Essentials, the Essential Tomb of Dracula. I loved the Essentials. They were black and white reprints of classic Marvel stuff. And I love the black and white because you could really see the artwork really well with the black and white without any color getting involved. You can see really well, and for the price, I mean, these are great reprints. I mean, this one here, volume 1, reprints the first 25 issues of Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night number 15, and Giant Size Chillers number 1, and it's a $15 book. So I have volume 1, got volume 2, Essential Tomb of Dracula, there you go, and Tomb of Dracula, Volume 3 Essentials. And, of course, I showed off my Tomb of Dracula. Actually, I'll go ahead and do that again. Tomb of poster up there on the wall for Halloween time. Because, that's the way we do it here. All right, so those are the trades. I got a bunch of hopefully a bunch of really cool stuff. Like I said, I don't have a lot of the keys for Tomb of Dracula. It's a series I would like to get the whole run of individual. I've got most of it in the Essentials. Most or all of it. I think all of it's in the Essentials. The 4th volume is the Tomb of Dracula magazine. But I might even have some of those. But anyway, let's go ahead and pause this, flip this camera around, and let's start showing off some of my Tomb of Dracula books. All right, so there's really not a whole lot more I can say about the Tomb of Dracula series. I don't really have a lot of anecdotes, so this is mostly going to be just going through the covers, and I'll talk a little bit about the covers, what I like about some of them. But I mean, in general, everybody else, Tomb of Dracula, it's an iconic Marvel series. It was kind of one of the first after the Comics Code Authority, the mistake that was began to be laxed a little bit, and we could actually have, vampires and werewolves and that sort of stuff back in comic books. Marvel, started doing them, and Tomb of Dracula, it's a book by really any measure should not have been the success that it was. I mean, Dracula's kind of he's a one-off character. His story's pretty finite. He's a great character. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love him, but for him to have a series that ran for 70 issues, it's insane, and it really is a testament to the talents that were on the book. The writers and the artists did an amazing job and made it so compelling and so interesting month after month that even after the series ended, Marvel continued it in magazine form and made it more mature. So, but anyway, here let's just jump into this here, starting with Tomb of Dracula. This is where it all began. Issue 1. This copy here I got from my LCS, and it actually was a gift. My sister and her husband picked this up for me as a gift. So this is one I would like to get it in and get it encapsulated. Not so much. I really couldn't care less about the grade, but for me, encapsulating books like this means just kind of, it's more protection for them, But then we jump up to issue 9. And with my Tomb of Dracula books, for the most part, I've kind of lucked out where mine are in pretty decent condition. And there's my Tomb of Dracula number 10, First Appearance of Blade, but this is a reprint. This was in an action figure. I don't remember what action figure it was in, but I probably still have that somewhere as well. But I figured, you know what? If they haven't done a True Believers reprint, they haven't done a facsimile edition reprint for this, so I'm happy with this. It's right in there. Number 11. Number 12, and I've read the Essentials a couple of times for this, and like I said, the black and white for the Essentials, especially with this kind of a character and this kind of a story, works really well. It makes it feel like an old school movie. I love it. This is probably one of my worst condition ones. There's some bends up there in the corner by the price, and not the best condition. But most of the ones I have, the colors really pop on them, and the spines are pretty good considering how old these books are. This is one of the first ones that I picked up. I love that cover. I always wanted that on a poster. And that when they did a True Believers reprint for this, something to do with Carnage or something or other, I don't know. This one, actually, the other one was one of the first ones I picked up. This one here was the first issue of Tomb of Dracula I ever bought. It was at the same LCS as back in the 90s, and I was like, yeah, I want this one. I think it's because at the time it was the only one that I could really afford. And this is also another one of my early ones. At the time, I was just kind of like, if it's in good condition, I'll snag it. I'll pick it up. Why not? So, but the covers were really dynamic for these. They really did a lot. There's Brother Voodoo. Cool. This is probably my worst one. There might be one in here that's even worse, but you can see the spine on that one is pretty much demolished. They could take a Sharpie or something and fix it. I don't know. Kidding. Jeez. All right. But they did introduce, we got Blade, we got Hannibal King, we got Frank Drake. Of course, Frank Drake was a descendant of Dracula. And what always kind of attracted me to this character was, in the movie he was kind of an aristocrat. In the book, I haven't read the book in years, but it seems like he was kind of an aristocrat, kind of arrogant and self-important. And in the comics, they really translated that very well. He always just saw himself above everyone and anyone. Everybody was just there because he allowed it. He was sort of like, he was kind of like Dr. Doom in that sense, where he was just, on one level he was just trying to do what he needed to do to survive, but unlike Dr. Doom, who does it in general for the benefit of his country and his people, and because he honestly feels that he would be a better person to be in charge of everything, Dracula is very self-serving. He really has an interest in helping anybody unless it helps him directly. And, just one of many things that I've always really liked about that character. And the art style. The art style always kind of reminded me, especially in this part of the run, always reminded me of, Ghastly Graham Ingalls from EC Comics. He would do the covers mostly to The Haunt of Fear. He was the old witches artist in The Haunt of Fear. And his artwork was always just, you could just, he was drawing zombies in a graveyard at night, the way his art was and how detailed it was. You could feel the moisture in the air and just see the glistening wetness of the zombies' rotting flesh. His art was so good, and that's how the art on this series was to me. It always kind of reminded me of Graham Ingalls' work in EC, and I think that was another one of my attractions to it. Some great stuff, some just awesome covers for this. Pretty much the entire run had great covers. Not a lot of iconic covers, but a lot of really awesome covers. So I think we're kind of getting near the end of my proper run of the Tomb of Dracula. We're on issue 60. At some point it would be nice to have the full run. And I mean, I would be okay with books. I mean, if I was going to put a grade on them, the ones I'd be okay with, and like 9 2s, 9 4s, 9s. I mean, I don't need 9 8s for anything. Like my Tomb of Dracula #1 is probably going to be like a 9 2, 9 something. I don't care. It's one of those things. I'll send it in, I'll get it graded, they'll be protected. Sometimes I think people put too much emphasis on, getting 9 8s, that it kind of just takes the fun out of it. Kind of put too much emphasis on the grading in general, and it kind of takes the fun out of why we're collecting comics, just for the fun of it. But, to each their own. I'd try my best not to judge what other collectors and investors do. You do what you want to do. As long as you're buying comic books, I'm okay with it. This is issue 68. Nearing the end, a 70-issue run. That is amazing. There's no way. There's issue 69. I do not have the final issue of Tomb of Dracula. So we had that. And then also in this box, Epic Comics, I picked this up within the past couple of years. They did a new Tomb of Dracula. They brought Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan and Al Williamson. It's the people who kind of worked on the original series, and they did a prestige format, mature readers only 4-issue series. I have not read this yet. I need to. It was just one of those things like, hey, it's there. It was very inexpensive, so I was like, I got to have it. So those are all those. I've also got, let's move these over here. Giant Size Chillers #1. This is the first appearance of his daughter, Lilith. And then I've got these, put those there. We've got these reprints. They were always loving to reprint this series. But they did, they reprint, I think, 2 issues per book. There was the Requiem for Dracula. I love that cover. They did the Savage Return of Dracula. Probably one of my least favorite covers, but still an awesome cover. The Wedding of Dracula. Wow, this is the only one that has a board on it. I don't remember. And then there was the Versus run. There was Doctor Strange versus Dracula, which I think I showed off in my Doctor Strange video. There is Silver Surfer versus Dracula. Probably showed that off in my Silver Surfer video. Spider-Man versus Dracula. X-Men versus Dracula. Those were reprints. And then one year they did, in 1998, there was a Generation X annual. Generation X versus Dracula. And let's keep with the Versus theme here. These a little bit out of order. X-Men, Apocalypse versus Dracula. I remember reading this, and I really need to read this one again. It was pretty interesting. These two just dynamic characters, both bad. You don't want to root for either one of them, and they're kind of going head to head. And the way they explain the relationship between the two was really cool. I love that cover. And then there was a 3-issue series. I don't remember when this came out, but it was Dracula, Lord of the Undead. Another one that I remember enjoying. It had something to do with there was like a blood infection or something, and was killing vampires, and he wound up getting infected, and he was slowly, withering away, and he was trying to find a cure for it. And I like how it was a 3-issue series, and behind Dracula there's that book. And then there's this white, that's a Roman numeral 1. And then for book 2, they had the Roman numeral 2. Kind of unique cover setup there. And then book 3 for that. And I did a little bit of quick digging. I do have a couple of the Tomb of Dracula magazines. I have issue 2. That's pretty good shape, too. And issue 3. And that is it. So let's flip this back around, yeah? Okay, guys and gals, that was it. My full run of Tomb of Dracula, including the reprints and the trades and everything that I had that's Tomb of Dracula related. Which I kind of like doing that. I kind of wish I had thought about doing that at the beginning, because I also have the Howard the Duck books from when I did How the Duck. But that's it. That's what I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, my Tomb of Dracula series, my collection, probably not the most impressive. It's lacking a lot of, actually it's lacking the biggest issue in the run. That's issue 10, first appearance of Blade. But you know what? Sometimes you got to try to set all of that, trying to have the keys and the important issues aside and just kind of focus on what you can get and hope that eventually at some point you'll be able to get what you want to get. So, I would like to have that issue, an original issue 10 of Tomb of Dracula, but for the price of it, it's probably not going to happen. So I long since put my mind set in the place where, if I can't have an original, if I can get a reprint, if I can get a second print, I'll be happy with that. And, barring the possibility of not having those, if I can get it in a trade paperback, I'm happy, because it's, to me, essentially, while I liked having the actual issues, at the end of the day, for me, it's about the story and the art. And as long as I can enjoy the story and the art, I'll do I'll settle for what I can and still have aspirations of getting what I want. You know what I mean? So, but that's it. That's what I've got. I hope everybody enjoyed my video today. And if you do like what I'm doing here, as I've said many, many times, go ahead and hit that like button. Actually, if you've made it this far into the video and we're wrapping this thing up, go ahead and slap that like button, and I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to see, more of what I'm doing, check out my channel. I got a lot of videos on there now. Plenty of full run Fridays, mini Mondays. I've got haul videos. I got all kinds of stuff on my channel. So go ahead and check everything out. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 200 subscribers. I'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe, hit that notification button. I'm going to start doing these videos, specifically these full run Friday videos, in advance, so that I can have them scheduled, so that when you subscribe and you hit that notification button, it will let you know days in advance of the videos going live. But that aside, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, notification button, share the videos. I will see everybody on Monday with mini Monday, number 5 of 5 for the Halloween edition. So everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.